The statistics cannot capture the sound of a world dying. To understand the immediate effects of the drought in this region, you must stand in the dust. You must look into the eyes of those who have nothing left to lose. Just 20 kilometers from Dhusamareb, the state capital, isolation is a death sentence. The roads have dissolved into deep sand pits. Water tracks are swallowed by the earth, forced to bleed their precious cargo into the dust just to escape. The drought does not discriminate, but it punishes the fragile first. In Bir Abdi Farah, I saw the true face of this catastrophe. I saw the elderly and the young completely broken by hunger and thirst. Children unable to stand on their own feet lay in the dust beside emaciated livestock animals that also need helping hands just to stand on their own four legs. Human and animal life mirrored one another in the sand. In Jolas, just about 25 kilometers from Dhusamareb, I found pots on fire, just cooking plain water to keep children's hope alive. Families who once owned hundreds of sheep and goats now sit beside cold hearts. They keep the empty pots on stones to give their children a fragile illusion of hope and to preserve their dignity. It's a quiet, devastating resilience. At the school in Inamet, the classroom is the blazing sun. Children study under the skeleton of a dead acacia tree. The glare is blinding. The heat is agonizing. Half of their classmates are already gone, scattered by the wind in a desperate search for survival. In Gadon, the social fabric is stretched to the tearing point. Families with nothing else are hosting 5 or more other families who have even less. And in Hondurre, the only water available smells indistinguishable from a rotten carcass. I watched an old man drink it. It's a choice between poison today or death tomorrow. In Sangoy and Olol, the ground zero of this nightmare, the epicenter, the old boreholes have become tombs. 30-meter shafts built to bring life are now overflowing with the dead. A camel is a fortune in times of drought. I saw 30 or so dead camels scattered in just a few kilometers. One had forced itself into the thorns of a Dhusamareb tree, chasing a few dry leaves it could never reach. It died trapped in the branches of the Dhusamareb. Everywhere, stories of dead camels are a common thread. An entire way of life suffocated. I stood by a dry underground pool to document the cracked earth at its floor. Suddenly, herds of sheep came from everywhere, running toward me. They didn't come for water. They knew there was nothing. They looked at me as their last hope. Dozens of unblinking eyes begging for a miracle I could not give them. I was in tears. I could not bear it. When I walked away, some tried to follow before collapsing back into the dust. The drought takes the water first, then the livestock, and finally the human spirit. Mothers and fathers who define themselves by their herds have lost their identity. From Higlale to Olol to the Girijir to Qotqot and Gabon, the experience is the same and the stories are identical. The horror of the drought echoes just as loudly in Balahat, Tul Al Hassan, Girijir, Qotqot, Gabon, Ton, and the surrounding villages where the land itself seems to have surrendered. I saw communities in these areas, their faces edged with exhaustion and grief, yet smiling in the hope that the Almighty will sustain them through these difficulties. They confidently state that only in Allah's hands shall their thirst be quenched. What goes unsaid, however, is their silent mourning, the heartbreaking loss of their generational wealth, which now lies scattered as bones under the unforgiven sun. Here, survival is not a given, but an agonizing daily battle against nature's wrath. In Girijir and Qotqot, the mind is breaking alongside the body. Yet, across the land, water tracks cost from $40 to $500, depending on the distance and the state of the road. It is a ransom these communities cannot afford to pay. After every prayer, masjid imams and other community leaders beg worshippers for their last cents just to keep neighbors fed until the next day. The desperation is so absolute, it has pushed communities beyond the edge of endurance. Their patience is sustained by their faith. Their belief in Almighty Allah keeps them hopeful and smiling at the same time. Their patience may be endless, but their time seems to be running out. It's a crisis no responsible human being can afford to look away from.